Welcome to our first Facebook Live episode.
It stopped again. Is there a reason?
Yeah.
Right? Can you see whether you can see it?
So all this is in the internet later.
Yeah.
Oh no! No live. This one will come now.
We are live.
Yeah.
Oh, you might actually be live.
Oh.
Alright, I'm sorry.
Okay,
My
keep
bad.
going. Hi.
Okay, we're good.
Okay, wait, let me just make sure that you're on. Oh, yes, you are.
Okay, well, welcome to our first episode, Facebook Live. As you can tell, it's our first time. My name is Rachel, and this is part of the Ask Rach series. And the question this past week is in particular our perspectives on the millennials in our generation, in our workplace. Sorry, millennials in our workplace. And so I thought instead of are we on?
Yes,
Yeah.
we're good.
I thought instead of just me responding to this question on millennials in the workplace, I've invited two of my colleagues. This is Sherman. Sherman has been with us for the last 4 years now and brilliant. In a very short span of 2 years, was promoted from consultant to senior consultant. He's now 29 years old, fits the Gen Y millennial generation description. And then I have Celine with us. Celine has been our intern and tremendous lady, young lady, barely 20. In between, she's on holidays from Australia, and and we're fortunate to have her this past few months. So I thought I'll start first on where we're at, our perspectives on the millennials in the workforce. Personally, I do think that, and I'm over 30. I'm a Gen X, and I do think that my take on the millennials would be that they're fun, they're creative, extremely bright, and able to see and able to distinguish right from wrong. My encounters, perhaps at the workplace, has been really very meaningful, and many of the millennials are now some of my best friends. Although we have some bit of an age gap, just a little bit, very small. And I thought I'll ask Sean to share with us his perspective also on his peers, millennials at the workfront.
Thanks, Rach. I think what I can share from my own experience as a millennial in Rohe. I think one of the reasons why at all the Gen Ys here at Rohe, we really enjoy our work. We really enjoy what we get to do. It's a real privilege that we get to do it.
Right.
And I think one of the reasons why we are so we do that, and I think Rich, you said before that our Gen Ys are you always ascribe really good intentions. You always think of the best in us, and I think of many of our colleagues who are more senior than us who do that as well. And I realized that has a really powerful effect on us, because I mean, if it's reciprocity, if it's because you all think the best in us, we feel like we can do it, and we are we can rise up to that. That there's a certain that because of such a belief in us and the goodness in us, we feel like we rise up to it, and we get to do and perform well at work as well. And so that's something I realized that's perhaps slightly different from what my peers experience at work, because I know of colleagues who feel like there's always something they're pushing against in working with people who are more senior than them, who are more experienced than them. They're constantly hitting the wall, and perhaps it's perception, perhaps it's a particular judgment that's already been imposed on them that millennials are fill in the blanks, and so they're constantly feeling like they're pushing against that, and it's very hard to do that, and so I recognize that my colleagues here at Rohe, that perception is absent, and that causes us to be free to excel at the workplace, I feel.
I do think because we're intentional about having and treating not just millennials, but across, people in their 50s, their 60s, and describing good intentions, and as well as to celebrate where they're at. I think that has been a very life-giving journey at Rohe. What about you, Celine? Your thoughts?
Well, I think that because I came from a poly, so there we had like a lot of my friends shared me their different internship experiences. So I think that for my generation, we are very well aware, very well connected.
Because your generation is Gen Z.
Yeah, Gen Z. So like we are very exposed to technology. We hear from our seniors. So we are very well aware of the perceptions that the world has on us. And one thing I guess we have shifted away from is not just the negative perception, but now we are so well aware that there are positive perceptions of us. Like how you shared that you view us as creative and fun. And I think
and not afraid of technology. You have the zeal and this courage to try all sorts of new things in tech.
And I think that employers now see that as an asset to people. So even though we are well aware of the negative perceptions of us, we're also well aware of the positive ones. So now it's more of like as an individual, how would we what would we want our experience to be like? Like we understand that we have the ability to control how our experience in our internship is like.
Wow, that's great. Thanks for sharing that. I think for viewers out there, I don't want us to also think that we're great here and that this is in our own little world, in our own little space. Really, we've not rehearsed this as we're going as the time flows, but I do think that it's possible for all the workplaces to enjoy not just millennials but across generation. And my thought is that what every person desires is kindness, and that if we can ascribe kindness and if we are kind to people, I think like what Sherman said, you will reciprocate. And also people will pick out, okay, they're genuine about it. They're genuine in wanting to help me grow, help me succeed. And I cannot count the number of times where the millennials have come to me and given me very constructive feedback about how I should communicate in this way, or and giving me feedback about how I can get better. I remember there's our other colleague Anna, when she first joined us, she's 25, 24 years old. Her feedback to me was that why don't you include these people in this discussion about this particular company policy that is very crucial in the organization. So I value that, and I value the contributions, and I do think it's doable for across the workforce. I wanted one last question about how can we encourage the workforce in general to embrace and to rejoice with the millennials.
To embrace and
rejoice and to perhaps encourage the millennials.
I think to encourage the millennials, I think just taking interest.
Good.
Yeah,
okay. Being interested.
I think that's very, very encouraging, because there's nothing like somebody who just wants to find out, hey, what are your interests, what are your hopes, what are your dreams. I mean, I can think of my colleague Ying Ying. Every time.
Well, by the way, Ying Ying is like Gen A.
she is from the baby boomer generation. BB, she calls her bold and beautiful.
Oh, wow, you said it.
So, I mean, I think of when I first joined Rohe, Ying Ying really took an interest. She invited me and my friends to a place, we cook something together. She always does that with our interns.
And she still does that.
She still does that. And so, I mean, it's really about taking an interest. That's just very encouraging, I think of that and I really appreciate it.
Wow, great. And any thoughts?
That was what I was thinking as well, taking an interest. Because I think for the younger generation, sometimes a lot of people give us the perspective like, they're just there, they want us to go through the hardship, and they don't feel like they're being understood. So I think because of the perception that millennials don't want to go through hardship, then like people will always want to emphasize in the area. But I think understanding millennials that they do have a heart to learn as well, and that taking an interest in who they are, and more like a mentorship in terms of like, hey, this is to help you grow, rather than like the climb from the bottom. So they do understand that concept that they have to work hard, but at the same time they want to feel valued.
Great. I think I also personally have learned a lot from just this brief conversation to be interested. And perhaps we can tie this in this framework that we often use, which is what we call the relatability factors. That do you see me as an individual? Do you hear me? Do you understand me? Do you care for me, and do you appreciate me? If we are able to do that, see, hear, understand, care, and appreciate, then when we challenge the millennials to get better in different parts of their lives, aspects of their lives, they are going to be okay with that. In fact, they will embrace that, right? That you care enough to challenge me. But because you've seen her understand me, I know that your intentions for me are pure. Your intentions for me is for me to thrive and be prosper in what I'm doing. So so I guess our thoughts here would be to hopefully bring purpose and bring joy as we work constantly, not just with the millennials, but across generations. So we wish you the best. By the way, Happy Chinese New Year. I'll be in San Francisco, but for work. But we just hope this new Chinese festivities will bring you some rest too, from the workplace too. So thank you, and we will see if this is something that we will do again, live episodes. But thank you. Thanks for hearing us out.
Thank you.
What if we post like our generations, like
Okay.
posting?
Okay. Of course, that's not my generation.
You're Gen Z. Right?
Gen Z. Yeah, I am Gen Z. I'm Gen Z in my mind. Are we done, Janina? Oh, we're not.
I did.
Yes.